joining me. You could be anywhere in the world, but you choose to be here with me. And I enjoyed that shit. It is 6:05 in the morning. I'm usually up by like 2 or 3 or 4 for a lot of reasons. But this morning, I want to do a get ready with me, but I want to do a get real with me. Okay? And I want to talk about some things that nobody ever wants to talk about. And I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to talk a little bit about my life and a little about maybe some things you don't want to hear. And if you don't, guess what? You can click the fuck out, okay? But if you're interested in maybe learning something, then hang out with me for about 20 minutes. I put my makeup on. I still got this stuff. Like, I don't know where I got it, but the title from Sonny Riley, I really like it. I usually put it on right before I do my makeup. So, as you guys know, I went back to work. And was it Thursday? I quit. And I quit for a variety of reasons. But the main one was I have a friend named, I'll just call her NB. I've known NB for, I've been clean, which we'll get to, and for 13 and a half years. So I've known her 13 and a half years. She is one of the wisest people I know. Hands down. She always knows what is right and always shares it with me, but I don't always do it, right? So she said to me, Brie, why are you working your ass off at that job? I know you love what you do, and I know you're good at it, but 9.5 hours with a 30-minute lunch break is not enough for you. It's not enough for you. And you don't have to work. You don't have to do anything. And I said to her, Mary Beth, oh, well, there goes her name. Mary Beth, I have to work. No. You've been working your ass off since your mother died. And you really haven't taken any time to just sit and breathe. And even when you do that, you don't do it. So, do what you need to do as far as getting certified. And then get rid of the job. So, I did. I got my certification. I just need to take my dust. And I left on decent terms. I mean, I didn't like set the building on fire or anything like that. It felt good. It felt good to say, I don't need you in order to sustain myself, because I don't. I'm in a pretty decent finance. I mean, I'm not rich by any means, but if I watch my money, I do pretty good. The thing is, I tend not to watch my money, okay? Or I watch it go into somebody else's pocket. So let's back up. Mary Beth and I met through the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous. Okay. I got clean January 7th, 2007. I know it was not, I don't know the real day. I know it was after the 4th, which is my brother's birthday. But, oh no, I got clean January 4th. I'm sorry. I know it was after New Year's, but before my brother's birthday, so I picked the 4th, because when you're on drugs, time is like, doesn't exist, okay? So I picked the 4th. When I finally realized that you have to have a clean date, like, I didn't know that was a thing. When I got clean, I went into a psych hospital. And I remember specifically telling the psychiatric doctor, like, listen, I'm not here for drugs or anything. I'm not a dope head. I'm just here because I'm crazy. This is what I'm telling the doctor. And he said, have you ever thought, like, maybe the drugs are making you crazy? So, and I was like, F you, blah, 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 whatever. Very defiant, horrible. So I went to meetings for 8.5 years. And I would be dead if it wasn't for the Fellowships of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous. I would be dead. There's no doubt about it in my mind. I would be dead if it wasn't for the prayers of my mother. There is a saying in the black community, there's a song that says, my mother prayed for me, and I promise to God, like I've said before, my mother loved me, y'all, okay? She loved all her children. She loved all her grandchildren. She loved us all equally, but we had a special connection, and she loved me. And she prayed me right into those rooms, I promise you. So, I got clean I don't want to cry messing with my makeup. I went to a rehab that I worked at, that I had previously worked at. And when I got out of rehab, I went to go pick up a relaxer for my hair because my hair was a hot ass mess. And my mom had a fish fry that night. I got home. Everybody came over. My brother, his wife, my sister and all her kids, and my dad. So the next day I slept till like 10, and then I hear a like, "Hey mama, what's going on? Get your ass up." I got powder in mine. I'm like, "Where am I going?" She said, "You're going to a meeting." What? Get up, Bridget. That's my real name. I got up and I got dressed, and I was maybe $120. I was tiny. And she said, I said, "Where are my keys?" "Oh, no. You're not driving." "The fuck? You're not driving. I don't know when you're going to drive, but you ain't driving anytime soon." Okay, I'll take that. You have to understand, if I told you what I did in my addiction, you would totally understand why these people were, my parents were treating me like this. So, I was scared, because I had a lot of paranoia. I did cocaine. Had a lot of paranoia. My mom sat in the parking lot the whole time, where I could see her the whole time. I think at that time my sister had, I think she had 2 kids, maybe 3. I can't remember. No, she had 3. And I remember they would sit in my mom's car in her Cadillac. At the time she had like a gold colored Cadillac, and they'd watch movies on DVD and wait for me. The thing was, the motto is get there early, get there and stay a little bit after, drink some coffee, fellowship, right? So I did that. My mom would take me early, and I was petrified. And let me tell you why. How the fuck did I end up here? That's what I kept thinking to myself. How did this brilliant mind end up in this shithole with these people? That's what I'm thinking to myself. Why am I here? How did I get here? How the fuck did I end up here? I'm the smartest person I know. And in any given room, I'm the smartest person. Like, why am I here? I was mad. Until I got to know other people. I got to know other people that were not as smart as me, that were just as smart as me, and that were even smarter. And I learned that the people that were smart had the most difficulty staying clean, because the people who weren't smart, they didn't question anything you said, they just did it. If you asked me to do something, I'd ask why, I don't understand, explain it to me. If you were not as smart, you just did it, because that's what the person said. And I'm not trying to be brain over brain. I'm just telling you that's like the logic of things, right? Simpler people just do it. People that question things. I'm proud to say that the day I got clean, January 4th, is the only clean date I ever had. July 4th was 13 and a half years. Now, you check the stats on anybody staying clean past 5 years, past 10 years. Check them, and then come back and put in the comments what the stats are. So, anyway, I digress. Let's move forward. I ended up about 4 years later, as I'm clean, going back to the psychiatric hospital. Because as much as I was clean, I still was crazy. I went back. Again, when you are completely self-aware, and you know the answer, and you just cannot figure out how to do it, it is so painful. I'd rather be dumb and not understand. But I wasn't. So I went back to the hospital. They messed with my medicine a little bit. Okay, fine. Then they took me to outpatient IOP, outpatient intensive treatment. So I'd go to the meetings, and at that time I was in graduate school. So the leader of the group was a social worker. So everything she said I already knew. First of all, just from common knowledge, and second of all, from being a social worker, or becoming a social worker. So I would interrupt her a lot, and she thought it was hysterical, actually. And Dr. Ada, who's phenomenal, by the way. And she'd say, "Brie, what's the answer?" And I'd be like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, it was obvious to me what the answer was, but I could not apply it to myself. I could tell you anything, about anything, but it doesn't mean that I could practice it. That's a whole nother animal, right? This mirror is dirty. As much light as I got going on, I can't see shit. So I'm using my my own little palette that I created. It's blues and greens and yellows. So I left IOP, went back. I was going back to meetings. I was doing both at the same time, going to school, and I still was very miserable. And then I went to a new doctor, and I just told her how I was feeling. And she asked me if I'd ever heard of borderline personality disorder. I said, I do not have multiple personalities. And she said, no, that's not what that is. And so she explained to me that I wasn't bipolar. That a lot of these places that you go to for treatment, like treatment facilities or psych hospitals, they have to put down certain things in order for you to qualify on your insurance, like schizophrenic, bipolar, or depression. And whatever you're closest to, that's what they put down as a diagnosis. So you've been operating under a diagnosis that is not appropriate. Okay. Good. Okay. What do we do now? Then she tells me that it's one of the most difficult mental health illnesses to treat, along with depression, which is also what I was dealing with. Okay. So I'm hating this bitch already. Because I just came in here to talk to you for a couple minutes and you're already fucking up my life. So I'm still with this doctor, by the way. Dr. Maslos. She's good people. And as the years come on, she sticks with me as I try to figure out this life thing. And then my mama dies. I'm going to insert a picture, my favorite picture of me and my mama right here. Okay, so then my mom dies. Right in front of me. Took her last breath right in front of me. And my world ends. Hold on, I need a second, hold on. Okay, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to cry some more. I just didn't want to mess up my eye makeup, which my mom would appreciate. So my mom dies, and I knew she was dying. I knew before they had told us that she had cancer. I knew, because I knew my mom, and I knew she was already sick. The way she was acting, the way she was treating me. My mom and I are thick as thieves. Like, on the weekend when everybody's going partying, I was hanging out with my mom. Like, that's how my life was. So she dies 2 days before her 54th wedding anniversary. I remember my dad asked her a couple of days before she died, are you ready to dance? Are you ready to dance on Wednesday? And I could see that he was hopeful. But I already knew. I am going to cry again, and I'm going to have to stop this tape again. One of the things I want to say is, when the last time I talked physically to my mom, she just came home from the hospital. They had to bring her home in an ambulance, and I was hanging out at the house. We were just talking, and she knew who I was. I'd ask her, who am I? And she'd say, Renee, which is my sister, like a jackass. She's just being shitty. You know, Mom, who am I? Bridget Elizabeth. Okay. So, but she was a little out of it. So I was getting ready to leave, and she said, Bridget, don't leave me. I said, Mom, don't do this. I will be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. Again, she said, Bridget, don't leave. I said, Mom, I will be here tomorrow. Cut it out. Okay, baby, okay. And I left. And the next day, she wasn't talking. She would open her eyes. I would sing her to her, and I would say, Mom, I love you, and she would open her eyes and blink her eyes. And I actually have tape of me saying that, her opening her eyes. So my mom dies, and everything that's right in the world has disappeared. My family can't stand each other for no other reason than our mother's dead. You know, that's the only reason. There's no other reason. there's dissension, and my dad is confused that his wife of 54 years and his love of his life of 60 years is gone. Just evaporated. So we're all fucked up, man. And so I tried to kill myself. Not once, but twice. And I realized during those times when I tried to kill myself that no one called me. Not like that during that time, no one called me. No one. No one checked on me. No one called to say, hey, Brie, what's going on? Would you like to go to dinner? No, none of my no one called me. And that hurt so bad, because then I realized how isolated I was. Which comes back to the BPD, the borderline. Borderline people have this thing where we want you around, but then we want you to leave. It's called I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. There's a book called I Hate You, Don't Leave Me. And that's how I am. I would want people around, but then I'd want them gone as soon as I got there. I realized that I was alone, that my mother had died and my best friend had died. No, she was gone. So I got back on board with Dr. Macelos, and what are we going to do? So we tried these treatments called ketamine. And it was a nasal ingestion, and they seemed to help. And then everything plateaued, like it usually does with me. Works for a while, then stops. And I was mortified. I was literally mortified. Like, wait a minute, what happened? Everything was good. Everything was doing good. Like, where am I now? I was so confused. Like, why is this happening? Why does this keep happening? Why does this keep happening to me? Why am I doing good and then all of a sudden everything falls apart? So going back to what Mary Beth said, since my mother died, I have not taken the time to do the things I like to do, to spend time with my sister and her kids, to spend time with my dad, to make new friends. I have not done any of that shit. I've been working or at home or with my dog, and that is not healthy. Not for me, anyway. Sorry, I keep having a little nasal problem. So there's two things I want you to come out of this video with. One, I'm a bad motherfucker. Do you understand me? I'm bad. I have survived so much stuff. I haven't even told you guys about my medical issues, but it doesn't matter because I'm beyond that now. Like, I'm the baddest bitch, man. I am. I really am. And I'm not saying that any other reason than it's true. You dig what I'm saying? I have a magnificent family who we're all grieving in our different ways, and we're all starting to come back together again, which is beautiful. I realized that my dad's 82. Okay, he's gonna be 83 in November. He works like 6 days a week. Mother works. Okay, where are you at, Daddy? He's at work. Okay, that's the way he copes with things. And I don't think if he had that, he'd been right behind my mom as far as passing away. If he didn't have work, he'd been gone. But what I'm trying to say is, one, if you have some kind of mental illness or mental issue, address it. Address it. Don't let that bitch linger. Address it, address it, address it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. Don't give a shit what your mom or dad thinks. If you have something you know is not right with your head, fucking address it. Done. Because you can't wait around for other people to approval. You can't. If you're waiting around for other people's approval, then why the fuck are you living? Get out of here with that shit. Second thing is, we are meant to be in communion with others. We are not meant to be alone. Humanity is supposed to be together, not separate. So if you're a person like me, who is terrible at making friends and terrible at keeping friends, do some of the things that they tell you to do, which is practice having a conversation with yourself. I know that sounds fucking crazy, but practice what you would say to somebody like yourself. Write down. Like, these are the techniques that people use. Write down that you're having a conversation with yourself and what you would say, what would be appropriate to say. Use, instead of texting or calling people, use things like Marco Polo, where you can fully listen to what the person says and they can fully listen to what you say, and you don't react so quickly. Like, there's just a lot of things that you can do, right? And the last thing I want to say is I've been dealing with mental health since I was 17 years old. Okay. And it has seemingly gotten worse. It has. It's gotten worse as I've gotten older. But I've gotten better. I am Bridget Fuller, and nothing can stop me. If I want it, I'm going to have it. If I can do it, I'm going to. And that's the kind of attitude you have to have in life about your life. If you see someone in pain that's hurting and needs a friend, try and be a friend. And the last thing I want to say is, if you can give somebody something and it costs you absolutely nothing but some words out of your mouth, if you can give them closure, if you can give them kindness, if you can say you look pretty, if it costs you nothing, then fucking give it to them. Give it to them. Why the fuck not? If somebody needs something and you see they need it, if you see that a few words out of your mouth will make their day that much brighter, then fucking say it. Know the power of your words. Give people what they need. There's a book by Wally Lamb. It's called She's Come Undone. And there's a line in the book where they're talking about milkshakes. And one of the characters says, take their milkshakes, drink their love. In other words, take what people are offering you. Take it. Okay? Alright, I hope this wasn't too fucking serious. I did cuss a lot, so maybe that'll make it easier. I would show you my outlook, but I don't think you can see it. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not going nowhere today. Hell, probably going to my sister's house. I haven't been wearing my contacts too much. I do like the brand, though. I like the brand that I'm wearing. So, if you have anything poignant to say in this video, leave it in the comments. Whatever. If you don't, I don't care. If you want to subscribe, do that. If you don't want to subscribe, do that. I don't fucking care. Whatever you want to fucking do, do it. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. Just remember, if things are going sideways, it gets different. It gets really fucking different. Hang on for the ride, guys. Help is on the way.